mining communities. You had Boston, you had Winona, Tonica, Toluca, Colville, Heatonville, Science, Diamond, Coal City. They were everywhere. And when you look at it 150 years later, most of those communities still exist. Some of them, like Heatonville, Colville, Science, they kind of just squeaked out of existence. Most of them, when you think of Wausau, Winona, Coal City, those communities are no bigger today than they were when they were a coal mining community in the 1860s. Streator was no different than the rest of them. Yet we grew and we flourished. What did we have that they didn't have? What was the difference? It's not like we were on a major tributary of a river. We didn't have the I&M Canal. We didn't have an interstate, still don't. So why did we grow? We had something they didn't have. We had Colonel Ralph Plum. He was a man of vision. He was a man with a lot of drive. And he created this community out of nothing but coal dust and determination. And as the mayor mentioned earlier, not only are we celebrating our 150th birthday, with the renaming and the voting to become a village on April 9th, 1868. Today is actually Colonel Plum's death day. He passed away in 1903 on April 8th. And I know virtually every one of us have been to a funeral. We've heard the funeral masses and the sermons. That even though we grieve the death and we grieve the loss of our loved one or our friend, it's a time to celebrate their life. It's a time to celebrate their accomplishment. So that's what this celebration is today. It's not only Streator's birthday party, but we're going to spend the next few months celebrating the accomplishments of Colonel Ralph Plum. He created this community, and because of what he created, we're going to celebrate, we want to educate and have people learn over the next few months the contributions to humanity that Colonel, because of his work, the people of Streator have done. Contributions in astronomy, contributions in the arts and the sciences, contributions to art and literature from people who came from this community because one man had the drive. So that's what we're here to do today. And I think the highlight of today's event is going to be the opening of the time capsule. We already opened it. It's no big secret. It was buried in a burial vault that was 7 feet long and 4 feet deep, 3 feet wide. Nothing that Jack DeSuris and Jamie Game and I could dig up with a couple of shovels this morning. So with the help of Schultz's Monument, we got the time capsule out. We got the contents in this Federal Bakery box over here. And at this time, I would like to ask Pat Brin, descendant of Sam Plum, to come forward and ceremoniously open the time capsule for us. For those of you who don't know, Samuel Plum was the brother of Colonel Ralph Plum. When Colonel started this community, he opened a coal mine, and within less than a year, he realized how big the community was going to be. He contacted his brother Sam Plum, who was living in Oberlin, Ohio, and was a banker. And he said, "Sam, we need a bank. I don't trust the stagecoach coming from Ottawa every week with my payroll. We need a bank." So Sam came here, and his great-great-granddaughter is going to open up, I'm not putting it on, is going to open this up, and we're going to see what we have inside. Here we go. Do you want me to hand the contents to you, and you put them on the table, or? Okay, you want to read off what they are, or just hand them to me? Okay, we have here registration book from 1993. I think they brought this to all the different events that they had for the Sesquicentennial in '93, and everybody registered. We have a registration book out in the entryway out there, and I hope if you didn't sign it on your way in, you make sure to sign it on the way out, because we will be putting that in the next time capsule. 1993 Sesquicentennial Collector's Plate. Official program of the events. 1993 Quasquicentennial. A stack of letters. Some of you may be here today. A letter to Terry Lynn Moore from Grandma Moore. A letter to Kimberly Ann Moore from Grandma Moore. A letter to John Underwood Jr. from Marie Myurchin. Alexandria Kyle Roach from Kyle Roach. Eileen M. Ranger from Marie Myurchin. You have a letter. Robin Underwood from Marie Myurchin. Adam John Roach has a letter from Kyle Roach. James Underwood from Marie Myurchin. Aaron Chalky from your parents, Tim and Luann Chalky. And Alex Chalky from Tim and Luann Chalky. To the editor of the Streator Daily Times Press from the Quasquicentennial Committee. There's a quote on the back: unless we take an active role in the lives of our communities will fail. A quote from William Aramoni. What else do we have, Pat? This looks like a letter of the incorporation papers from Scott Wrighton, who was here today. You remember doing this? The original artwork of the design by Mark Droppa, the 125th Quasquicentennial design. The official proclamation by Mayor Richard Connor. Looks like a lot of Quasquicentennial. Please accept this copy of the class project of the 7th grade social studies class of North Lawn. This is their contribution to Streator's 125th birthday. This project was a volunteer project and not all students participated. The students who did participate did the research and the typing by themselves, presented by Ed Wargo, 7th grade social studies teacher. And that will be interesting to read, the children's projects. Certificates from Kathy Missel, the chairperson of women's participation of the Quasquicentennial celebration. More certificates. Oh, these are actual shares that they sold into the corporation of the 125th. Another letter. The historical pageant introduction of the First Lady of Streator and her court. This is the 1968, would have been 50 years ago, during the centennial, the corporation financial statement and accountings report. Another program. And this is a letter from the Centennial Corporation. Again, that's 1968. I think this is when they closed down their organization. They wrote a letter to the city council. We have a newspaper, July 3rd, 1993. Mae Nelson was elected as Streator's First Lady. And Greg Tolis is introducing her. There's no surprise there. Another copy of the events. The Strategic Plan Committee of 1993 from Steve Johnland and Scott Wrighton. Streator's strategic plan presented to the council. Is all the same. We have a lot of coins, the collector's coins that they sold for the Quasquicentennial. There are 7 or 8 of here, and a couple of the individual coins. They're sets and individuals. A picture of Mae Nelson and her court, First Lady. Another picture of Mae Nelson. These are very damp. Even though that vault was sealed, they sealed in the humidity that was inside the vault and it soaked into some of the papers. So it is drying out. 1993-94 City of Streator Budget and Programs Report. 125 years of celebration, the commemorative book of the Sesquicentennial. A visitor's guide for the Illinois-Michigan Canal National Heritage Corridor, which I believe was very new at that time. What is this? Focus on Foth and Van Dyke. I think that's an engineering firm. An Illinois map, 1993-94. I probably have one of those in my glove compartment still. This is the flyer used for stock sale. All selling the individual stocks the people could invest into the Sesquicentennial Committee. That's the ad. We have a stack of the program highlights, similar to what we have. I don't know if you picked one up on your way in, if there was enough of them. The listing of events for this summer. If you didn't get one, try to get a hold of one. We will have several thousand of them available soon. So if you didn't get one today, you will get one. They will be in every business throughout the Streator. A 1993-94 telephone book. You don't see that many telephone books anymore. This is a letter, or a package actually, there's stuff in there. From Sackey to the Streator Chamber of Commerce. And this from Sackey to the mayor of Toluca. I don't know why the mayor of Toluca of all places. A hardcover copy of the Sesquicentennial book. We're filling up this table. A 1993 Sesquicentennial cookbook. Right here. Streator Sesquicentennial Committee celebration of Plum Line at 125. That was the pageant they held down at the football field for 4 or 5 nights. Show division chairman was Scott Wright. Do you remember any of this? A lot has happened since then. The Plum Line at 125, the original script. Oh, heavier than I thought it was going to be, a wet newspaper. Happy Birthday Streator, a copy of the 125th special edition newspaper. From what I remember of this mostly is they had a lot of the family trees. I remember a lot of people made up their family trees. So there's a lot of those in here. A centennial commemorative brick. No wonder that weighed so much. A newspaper from September 4th, Saturday, September 4th. Probably, I'm thinking that was right after Labor Day, so that's probably at the end of the Sesquicentennial celebration. Business Week Honda. I don't know why, but it must have been that week's issue of Business Week. This is the Centennial program from the 1968 Centennial celebration. There's still stuff in there. The administrator of St. Mary's Hospital. Interesting what they have to say to those people. A 1992 city directory. It's probably a 92 instead of 93 because the directory doesn't come out until the next year. So they didn't have the 93 yet. A letter to the mayor of Streator in 2018. You have a letter, Jimmy. Come on up and read it afterwards. there's a card in here. Steve Johnlin business card. He was the director of the Chamber of Commerce at the time. It's a positive Streator coffee mug. And I feel old because I still use this coffee mug. I still got one. And this is to the current executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. He's sitting in the back there, Jack Dezuris, on my committee. A copy of the Canali Estate Real Estate Guide. Be interesting to see house prices in 1993. Unfortunately, probably aren't much different than they are today. A note from Julie Kashke. Julie Kashke and Jay Armstrong were the co-chairmen of the Sesquicentennial Committee 25 years ago. And this is a listing of what she had donated. Don't let anybody give you a wooden nickel. It's just a list of what she had put in here, a copy of the incorporation papers, the official proclamation, class project. Those were her contributions. We have some pins from the Brothers of the Brush. These are the smoothie shaving buttons for the people who didn't want to become Brothers of the Brush, and a Streator Sesquicentennial wooden nickel, or Sesquicentennial wooden nickel. This is a map. Yeah, I believe this is a folded up map of Streator, Illinois. A promotional flyer for Streator. Streator facts and figures given by the Chamber of Commerce. There's also a Department of Commerce community profile of Streator, Illinois in 1993. We have another listing of the events of the Sesquicentennial. Let's see. I have to put this down to open this up. It's very fragile, so. Okay, what this is, I'm not going to open it up any further. This is the 1968 flow chart of the organization of the Centennial Committee. So we'll find a flat surface later and open that up. And this is the same thing for the Sesquicentennial, showing all the different committees and who was on them. So Jack and Jamie, we need to make one of them up, or we're going to look at in 25 years. Another copy of the artwork. Another letter. Oh, there's Streator Poems by Don McComsey. It would be interesting to read it. It's all sealed up. A package to Alicia Hayward from Jill Hayward. So if Alicia's here, early birthday present. You have a package. And this is to Ron Lehman from Donna Lehman. Again, it's not just a letter, there's stuff in there. More shares of the certificates, and that is all the contents of the time capsule. Thank you, Pat Breen. I appreciate you coming up here and helping us.